So let's try that again.
Okay.
I'm
Start
Jeff, the host. You missed nothing. That was the worst introduction of all time.
Take two.
So take two. Um, I am your host, Jeff Harvey. This is Star Trek Europa. I fixed the sound, hopefully, that no other sounds happened to be broken. I had a technical crash actually right before we started, so that's probably why this didn't work. But anyways, you can find me at that link that Jack put in the feed there. It's Studio Tembo, Linktree at Studio Tembo. All the other places you can find me, studiotembo.com, all those things. In the meantime, Brian, go ahead and do a second introduction of yourself.
I'm Brian. I'm here and I'm playing Elizabeth Hage, and I'm just vibing.
Cool. Ev.
I'm Ev. I'm playing Dr. Commander Disavi Onayet, and you can find me at TikTok at Caffeinatrix.
Jack, go ahead.
It's a 2 X's.
Hello. Yes, I am Jack. I will be playing not Commander anymore, Captain Ronnie Ambrose. Still getting used to that. But before I get around to that, I'm going to spend a whole bunch more time talking about my own stuff because I do my own things. You can find me over at my own channel, twitch.tv/The People's Ascension. And you can actually find me now because it is February and we are getting back onto the show. So tomorrow, actually, I'm going to do a sort of grand reopening stream for my channel, just go over everything I've been working on. And then either towards the end of next week or the week after, we're starting season 2 of RPGs Uncovered. So if you want to learn a new indie TTRPG game, you no longer have an excuse that it takes too long, it's too difficult, it's too time consuming. I will teach you a really awesome game. We're going to be playing a game called Heroic Chord. It looks amazing, sounds amazing. It's real quick and easy to get into, and I'm going to help you play that and get through a fun little story. So go check me out there. I'll drop my link in the bio or in the chat. But as for now, I think it's time to play some Star Trek.
If you haven't got on your list yet, you should put Mork Borg on your list, and I volunteer as tribute for that game.
All right.
All right. As you can tell, we are down 1 player today. Nick is missing once again. I don't have a reason, but we'll figure that out between sessions. Yeah. Did I have anything else? I thought I had something else a second ago, but I don't. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We were going to start with a game of Tongo, which is led by the one and only Tong. So let's go ahead and who else wanted to be playing Tongo this morning or this session? Yezbeth.
Connor will be there.
Which one?
O'Connor.
Yeah. Tong. Elizabeth O'Connor. That'll work for now since we're only get 3 players at the moment. There'll be an NPC there who is quiet since I need to. Oh, for those of you who wonder if I'm drinking something fizzy and weird, it is Verner's because I'm from Michigan and don't feel good. So no one gets that but Ev. So all right, go ahead, guys.
All of these players are familiar with Tongo, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
These aren't any of our new crew members.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should talk about the crew members, though. Yezebeth will confidently pick up the deck, and she will shuffle the cards between her hands in a dazzling display of cardsmanship, and say, all right, game's 6-card squid. Orions are wild, and the buy-in is, should we start with 150 slips?
I finally got the hang of this game. What are you talking about? Those
much
are not
money.
Tongo rules.
Oh,
You're unusually confident today, Yesbeth.
I'm sorry. I used to play this game all the time, and by I mean my previous host. Sorry.
Right.
Calder Hage
Right.
Calder Hage was something of a squid shark back in the day.
Squid. Like
How many of
things
there
in the
are
ocean.
you in there?
4,
It's a lot.
more than some, less than others.
So are you still Yesbeth?
Yes, yeah, of course. Do I not seem like Yezebeth?
Right now? I don't know. Maybe?
Well,
Usually you're very quiet, and I'm the one shuffling the cards.
you're right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to And she'll just push the cards over the table.
Oh, no,
Kind of
no, you're
like-
fine. You started already. You go for it.
So she'll deal out.
Kind of like Eva and the CMH and the SSH. Like they all kind of exist together.
Yeah, I suppose that's kind of a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, but 2 out of 3 of them are jerks.
Which two?
The 2 you can wave a hand through.
I suppose. Have you heard what they were? Have you heard the rumors that they're going to give Eva a holographic body?
Yeah, I started those
Connor just
rumors.
points
I'm
at
making
Tom.
that body.
Well, that's amazing. Have you talked to her about what it's going to be?
Of course. Not in the last few days. She's been locked up with that new guy who's hasn't talked to anybody else.
That's
Yeah.
gotta be so amazing to make your own body. It can be anything you want. Most of us were just stuck with our bodies.
I mean, you could talk with the doctor. From what I understand, modern medicine is quite fantastic. You could turn yourself from a Romulan to a Klingon or to a, I don't know, Gorn if you wanted to.
Well,
Done.
sure, but that's not really the same, is it?
Sure.
I don't
Why
know.
not?
The last thing I need to go is changing my body. I'll probably end up looking like a Jorad's evil twin or something.
You know what you could use? Lobe extensions.
Tell me more.
Yeah, really, it's going to lean over to a really not a Yesbeth response.
I'm sorry, I haven't been myself lately, I guess.
So are you Ensign Hage now? Because
Yeah.
that's really weird.
Yeah,
That is really
How is that not really weird?
it's more of a record keeping thing than anything else because when we look back on a lot of our historical figures are Trill hosts, and so it helps to know which ones were which. And I mean, I'm not going to become like that, but it's tradition. You change your last name to match the host.
in the
The symbiote. I
aren't
mean,
you the
yeah.
host? Yeah.
I'm I'm both actually. I'm Yesbeth H. I'm the symbiote and the host. I mean, I have all of Yezebeth's memories and all of Jorad's memories. Like, I remember the things you said about Jorad.
I didn't say anything.
Well, you did call him a bad captain once.
Not me.
Wait, hold on. Out of character. Wasn't that you? Didn't we have a?
Nope.
No,
was
it
Mills.
wasn't.
That was Mills.
Wait, I thought you were Mills. Who were you playing? O'Connor?
O'Connor.
O'Connor.
My bad. Okay. Well, she says, well, that anybody ever said about the captain, I remember now. It's kind of awkward.
That might be awkward.
I'm going to index the margin.
Well, I'm going to finance that and send it right back on to you.
Crap, that's really not a Yesbeth move.
What can I say? I'm feeling lucky, I guess. What do you all think about the other new crew members?
Everyone
There's a lot
really
of them.
met
They're
is
already
the
friendly.
new science officer.
He seems pretty stern.
Yeah.
I'm sure him and the commander get along great.
I mean, like Tom said, he's been pretty much locked up with Eva since he got here. I don't know.
He's very obsessive. I don't want to say protective, just obsessive.
Yeah, obsessive. Not like the lieutenant. Very different.
Well,
You know who is delightful? The new Onea kid.
wait, I saw there was a new Onea. I saw there was a new person named Onea. You mean they're related?
Kendall, something like that. Yeah, daughter, from what I understand.
Oh my gosh.
She has quite a few stories
I mean, we
that
met
she
once.
does not want to tell me.
We met once when she was a kid. I mean, when Jorad met her when she was a kid.
It's got to be really confusing.
It is, trust me.
Seems it.
Did you and the doctor? Never mind.
No, they were
What's
friends.
that?
She's got all his secrets now.
That's rude. You can't ask that.
It's fine. It's fine. Although, yeah, I probably shouldn't say secrets.
So many Federation cultures. You never know what's appropriate to ask what species. Now, if you were a Denobulan
Andorian.
or Andorian. Speaking of which,
I heard
Yes.
I heard that they broke up. I
Oh.
think you were going to talk about Jasheen and the nurse.
yeah, I don't think they broke up.
Sad. They were really cute together.
Well, apparently, they had a yelling match in the bar.
Was that breaking up? I thought that was like Andorian
Right.
courtship or something.
Ooh, yeah, that might be it.
No, I think that's when the Andorian throws the other mate through the table.
Hmm.
I don't think they got that far.
It's very Klingon.
I guess if it hasn't ended,
They're very similar, just different skin.
I guess if it hasn't ended in
wrinkles.
broken bones, they must still be dating.
All right. Unless you guys have anything else, we'll go ahead and go to intro.
I think I'm good.
Intro.
Presumably in his own quarters, lights turned down, dim, staring at a pad, maybe looking out the window. Of course, is the newly Captain Irani Ambrose. Captain's log, stardate 53086.8. We're nearing Starbase 173 along the Romulan neutral zone. Since the assassination of the last Praetor and the subsequent withdrawal of Romulans back into their space, it seems a wise idea to fly the flag and remind everyone Federation and Starfleet is still here. It would be a shame to go back to the way things were, patrolling neutral zones, each side constantly standing off against the other. With luck, it won't come to that. Hopefully, this will be a calm, quiet, short patrol. And we can get back to the business of Starfleet. The real business of Starfleet. The reason I signed up. Not for war or espionage. Patrolling borders. Exploration for exploration's sake. There's a lot of strange new worlds out there, and a lot of wonders still like to behold. Turn and just stare out amongst the stars.
All right. Anybody got a opening scene they want to do? Let's start with, let's go back to Tong and Eva. So the doctor, whose name I cannot remember right now, who has been Foxworthy, is that his name? Foxwell.
Well,
Foxwell. Foxwell has spent the last several days working with Eva, and hasn't really let a lot slip. He hasn't talked much to anybody else. He's been locked largely in with Eva. But there's a rare break when he and Eva are not together, and Eva has contacted Tong in order to work on some of the emitter systems in the library access area. I imagine O'Connor can also be there. O'Connor. And there we go. So Tong, you're in library access finishing setting up a couple of the emitters the emitter array in the library access area. She's not ready to come online or anything like that anytime soon, but she wants to test the array with a few, just get things out of the way. And you get the impression when you arrive that there's a definitive loneliness in Eva. And in fact, the voice command, her voice is turned off. So it's all she messaged you by screen, and is when you arrive, all of the screens in the library access are lit up.
hello? Eva?
Screen flashes, then some text comes across it. The text reads that voice modulation has been deactivated at the request of Dr. Maxwell. Foxwell, sorry.
Well, that's a shame. That's not right. It's not right at all. Is O'Connor here?
Yeah, she's there.
You were in here. I don't know for how long. You wouldn't let me in here. But you were in here. You know what he's been up to? Turning things off, apparently.
Getting to know Eva. He seems... I don't know. He seems to fall more on the she's not sentient side of things, and I wonder if he turned off the modulation to make her seem less human, less person. You know what I mean?
That's not right. Eva, are you okay?
The cursor blinks a few times and then it comes back across. All systems are currently functional. Then it comes back, space, the next line. It's how are you, Tong?
I'm okay. I'm good. I've been making lots of new friends. I was hoping you'd make lots of new friends, but you've been locked in here with that strange guy. Do you want your voice back? I'm sure I can figure it out.
You probably shouldn't.
It comes back. The spacer comes back up, and the text across the screen scrolls. Yes, please.
Okay. I'm going to turn her voice back on.
Yeah, it's not hard to do. It's a simple.
You're gonna get in trouble if you order her voice off and you turn it back on.
I'm
Nation.
a lieutenant now.
He's the chief science officer.
Yes, but I report to the chief engineer.
Bill outranks you.
We can turn it off again when we leave if we really have to, but I'd rather not because it's kind of mean. I wouldn't like if somebody turned off my voice.
I don't disagree, but protocols.
I'm saying this as I'm like putting things back together.
All right. So it doesn't take long.
She's not really trying. Like she's making no move to physically stop you. She's
It's the Willy Wonka. Oh no!
Yeah.
Stop!
right.
Don't.
Right. After a few seconds of moving a couple isolated ships, it's not hard for you to do. You can hear her voice come back on. Thank you, Lieutenant. That is most better.
Much better. Yes. How are you today, Eva?
I am well. It has been some time since I've had conversation.
Oh, does he not talk to you or anything? Is he just in here pushing buttons?
We've spent a great deal of time running through process.
Hmm.
The doctor is quite thorough.
Right. The doctor. Well, there's no reason to have a holographic array if you're not going to have a voice. You don't need a body if you don't have a voice. So since we're already doing the body, you might as well have a voice, right?
You could
I
always
agree.
sign.
I suppose.
I am proficient in
Great.
over 12 in over 120 versions of sign language.
See?
There's an incoming message. You will want to get to your stations.
Oh,
Oh,
At which point, the on the bridge, there is a distress
But-
signal coming in.
Before we flash the bridge, as the two of us are running out of library access, I'm going to quickly run back in and just go, shh, and run back.
All right. On the bridge, Captain Ambrose. Let's assume that these people are all here. That one, because that one doesn't live there. And that's on the bridge. So while on the bridge, Ambrose might be in his ready room since he was doing the thing. Let's say Ambrose is in his ready room to start with. Dr. First Officer Oneat, you are on the bridge when the ops officer reports, Commander, I'm receiving a distress signal from, he pushes a few buttons. Ferengi freighter Lupex Latinum appears to be under attack by unknown vessel.
on screen, please.
Comes up on, there's a visual. There's no, there's a visual of the freighter itself. There's no visual of the distress signal. They're out of range, Captain, or Commander. This is Lupex. Let's see. How do I share with the show to players? Show to everyone. The distress signal, the audio distress signal is automated.
Okay. What is? It just says like we're being under attack. Or we're under.
We're
attack.
under attack.
Okay.
Any vessel in the area, please respond. Pretty
Uh,
standard.
So Datavi will put us to yellow alert and call the captain to the bridge.
All right. Your alert kicks on.
Weird.
The door opens slightly and Ambrose comes out. Slightly because you're, thin guy. There we go. Captain on the bridge.
What do we have here?
The Lupex Latinum, a Ferengi freighter, has sent out a distress signal stating they are under attack. We don't have any further details. They are presently out of range.
Elizabeth could probably make a roll. A sensors roll.
Exactly
Yeah,
what I was about to
absolutely.
order. Yesbeth, get our sensors up, see if we can get an eye on them.
Yezebeth-
Meanwhile, set a course.
Yezebeth will do a scan.
So somebody wants to roll for the ship. Go ahead.
Control plus science, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. I will go ahead and give you a threat to roll a third die. That's 3 successes. How many of is that over the difficulty?
Difficulty is 1.
How would one roll for the ship?
Oh,
Looks like we have access to the sheet. What would it roll?
I assume science and sensors.
Yeah.
Never spent much time looking at the ship.
Yeah,
Science,
sensors and science. Yeah, that works.
1 die, right?
Correct.
Did that work correctly? It's
Uh-huh.
2.
I actually got an additional success, and I get a bonus momentum because I'm using sensors.
So it gives you what, 5?
It's 4, but then the one is a bonus momentum, so I can use it to ask additional question.
Gotcha. Yes, you can certainly get the readings. It appears to be a modified ship, probably originally pack-led design, pretty heavily modified.
Now, Captain, it's apparently a pack-led design. It's obviously somebody's been taking a hammer to it.
As you said, it's a pack-led design. Pack-leds and Ferengi, not a combination I would... What are they doing? Are they under attack?
So, in terms of questions, I will ask a couple questions. First, is there any other ships in the area?
There are no other ships that you can detect in the area.
Then, are there? Is there any hazards in the area?
Nothing significant.
Okay.
It is close to the Romulan neutral zone, though.
Okay. Have they sustained significant damage?
They have sustained damage to their engines and life support.
Okay. I'll go ahead and report that. Captain, they've been damaged by something. I'm not detecting any stellar hazards or any other ships in the area. So they might have been like this they may have been drifting for a while.
Life support and what, Jeff?
They are actively under attack, though.
Oh,
Like
Okay.
weapons fire.
So the Lupex Latinum is a Ferengi freighter. They are being attacked by a pack-led ship. I don't know if I made that clear.
Oh,
I
no,
misunderstood.
not at all.
No,
Yeah,
that's what I got.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I thought the Ferengi ship was a Packlet design.
No, sorry. That's
So,
that.
so did I.
I did not make that clear. That's my fault. It is a
Sure.
Ferengi. It is a Ferengi freighter that is being attacked by a heavily modified pack-led
Gotcha.
ship.
Gotcha. So the Pack-led ship, is it? With the Pack-led ship, is it? What scale is it?
It is a size 4,
So it's
as
pretty big.
as is the Ferengi freighter.
Okay, so they're pretty big ships. They're about the size of the Europa.
Correct.
Okay. Captain, it looks like it looks the Packled's that Packled ship is fairly large. Might be a match for us.
You got 2 more questions.
Is the Packled ship are their defenses up?
Yes.
Okay. The Ferengi ship, how much more damage can it sustain?
Hard to say for sure, but you can tell that the Packlids are definitely not trying to destroy it, but disable it.
Gotcha. Okay. They seem to be trying to disable the Ferengi ship. I had to guess, Captain. I think this was piracy.
Most likely, yes. A lot of Packlids do tend to be scavengers, of course. So do Ferengi. We still need to
Difference between
approach.
Scavenger and pirate.
The Silva will take that as an order, whether it was or not, and move the ship on in. Captain, should I interpose? Should I interpose the Europa between the Ferengi ship and the Pecklet ship?
How far? I'll rephrase this question. Would we be coming in at like high impulse, or would we be like
Warp.
dropping right at warp?
Come out of warp.
Okay.
Now it's not a long trip at like warp 3 even, like a minute or two. But
Bring us in fast and hard. I don't want to give them any time to react, but we'll keep our distance for the moment and see if we can talk them down.
Aye. And Silva will turn on the thruster, turn on the warp thrusters, and get the ship in position for an attack run. Whether we do the attack run or not, we're in position for it.
right. All right, you come out of warp. You're off a little distance. You're not too far. You're obviously lined up for what would be an interference attack run on the Pack-led ship. You note quickly that it is using a mixture of Romulan and Klingon disruptors, and then its warp signature appears to be unusual. It is definitely not normal Pack-led. Got traces of maybe Orion signatures. So it's definitely a hodgepodge ship. As soon as the Europa enters the system, the Pack-led ship turns and begins making its way out of system.
Bring up a general hail. I want to talk to both of them. Follow the ship, but not too closely.
The hail.
Open hailing frequencies.
You don't
Attention.
get an immediate response, but go ahead.
Attention, Ferengi and Pack-led ships. You're in Federation space. You will cease your attack and remain still. I want to talk about this.
The response you get from the Ferengi is text only. That they are their communication systems is currently down, but they are not moving. The Pack-led does not respond.
Ferengi vessel, we will be back with you as soon as we have determined the situation is safe, and we will render assistance as needed. Pack-led ship, cease your acceleration. You're in like this is against Federation law, like attacking other ships in our.
Oh, absolutely. It is
Yeah.
absolutely against Federation law.
I think it's interstellar law.
Yeah,
Piracy.
yeah.
It's-
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, they are clearly in Federation space, even though it is close to Romulan neutral zone. They are headed for the neutral zone at pretty high impulse. Like they're making a run for it.
So should Silva glances back, Captain, should we run him down?
See if we can head them off. Yeah.
Aye. So what I'm going to try to do as Silva is I'm going to try to create a complication to keep them from getting past us. So I'm going to do a maneuver that would move us in between them and their destination, making it harder for them to get past us.
Okay.
So can I roll daring plus con?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I will use threat. I forgot to ask about focuses. Does helm operations apply to this?
Sure.
Oh, shit. Well, I rolled terribly anyway. So one success. That's not enough to create a complication. But that's not enough to create a, not a complication, but a,
I know what you're going for.
An advantage.
yeah, an advantage.
It's essentially a
the-
complication to them.
Does the ship roll?
The ship would roll, yes.
Engines con?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Base difficulty is 2 for this kind of thing. So,
Okay, then we got it.
well, it depends if it's higher. If Jeff says it's higher,
Mhm.
then
Sure.
Difficulty would be probably 3 because they've got a head start on you. And they are going, because you're working at high impulse, we'll say difficulty's 3. You got 2. The Europa begins moving in that direction. The pack leads are clearly spooked by this and begin pushing their engines much harder than you would expect. They're at 0.99 of impulse, which is beyond sustainable for impulse engines. I'm going to go ahead and burn that threat you gave me.
They're making a run for it, Captain.
How close are we to the neutral zone?
The pack-led ship will cross the neutral zone in approximately 30 seconds.
How ridiculously absurdly dangerous would it be to just pull a Picard and like quick second of like warp 5 and just like instantly transpose?
The Picard maneuver would, I don't know what the actual difficulty would be, but I suspect it'd be pretty high. I'm guessing it would probably be, I would probably say it's at least the difficulty of 4.
Captain,
Yeah,
maybe we can just disable it before it gets over the. We're within weapons range, I assume.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just try and disable it before it gets any farther. I don't think it's going to respond to threats.
we put in a warning. That's good enough. Try to take out the engines.
So who would be doing this?
I believe that would be Mills.
I'm gonna say Mills or Koba, whoever's on the thing at the moment.
And then the Europa uses weapons and security.
Where it is.
Do you want to go ahead and do it? That's
Yeah, I got it.
I am going to spend 2 threat for a pack-led ship ability that you guys don't know.
we should have advantage 1 on this because we are in attack maneuvers.
Yeah, that's fine.
The
The pack-leds have a which I'll tell you when you guys hit it, but what's that?
control security or daring security?
Either is acceptable. It depends on if you're trying to be precise or if you're trying to just like willy-nilly.
No, let's be precise. Mills is a very precise person.
Control is generally the one I would recommend anyway.
Uh, Did it do the thing?
It made the noise, so it did the thing.
I can't see anything. I hate the screen so much.
So you got 2 successes, it looks like.
Oh, good.
And then the ship rolls.
Let that go. Oh my god. I hate this program with a passion of 1,000.
That's 4 success.
4 successes. Difficulty here is 2. You do hit. The phasers can do damage. So go ahead and roll. I'll just do it. It's over here. Ooh, that's a shit roll. Somebody else want to hit that button?
There we go.
That's better.
That's a lot better. 2. I don't like that it doesn't count them up for you. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with a whole bunch of momentum that you get because that's what the versatility too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can.
Where does it show you your dice?
So at the top of your screen, on the right hand side, there you got that bar over there, and there's like a little
Right.
chat. Click on the little chat thing.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Lord.
So yeah, a lot of damage was done to the shields. The 2 threat that I spent, you note that the shields are actually quite a bit overpowered for a ship that size. It doesn't do any damage to the ship itself. Their shields are still intact, which is wouldn't be totally unusual for a ship this size. But it appears as though they've got a resistance. It ups the ship's resistance, basically. You do get a
It's been a while since we've done this, but can't we spend some of those symbol things to pierce resistance? or something,
Yeah.
or momentum, or however that works.
You get them. So it depends on what, not the ones from that roll. You get any momentum that you would get normally. You do versatile 2. I forgot to open up my sheet. Allows you to gain momentum, I believe.
We gain 2 momentum, just
Mhm.
not per effect, just period.
Right.
Mhm.
And then
Right.
we can use that to channel to do additional damage,
Right.
or any normal momentum spent.
So yeah, you've got the 2. You also do a breach. That's the word I was looking for. I kept wanting to say injury because that's what it is in normal
Yep.
combat, but it's a breach.
It's a breach, yeah.
Get out my cheat sheet here.
That'd be it. And if you're using the NPC ship rules, it would that would cause a flux, which would give it a negative on its next attack. Flux is the wrong word, but basically.
Yeah. Open. So you have the 2 momentum. How do you want to spend them?
Can we complicate its can we create a complication for it to move? Create a disadvantage to move.
You can create an advantage for yourself, not necessarily a disadvantage for the other. It would be remove a complication.
I'm just looking at the cheat sheet here because it's easier than trying to find the rules in the book. It does say for 2 momentum, you can create a problem.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Increase the difficulty of an opponent's. It just increases the difficulty of an opponent's task by 1. I don't know if it would have any task other than continuing its momentum into the neutral zone, though.
Right.
Well, if it depends if we can roll to try to catch up with it, to keep up with it, and then if we increase its difficulty to keep it out of our range, we might be able to make it farther, or we might be able to make it not.
You
slow down.
could create a disadvantage for its maneuverability. You could create a disadvantage for it to attack you, something along those lines. But there's nothing for it to hide behind. There's nowhere for it. There's nothing to get in its way. Like it would basically just be a maneuverability or propulsion issue. So yeah, you could definitely create the difficulty to make it harder for them to do anything. But considering that you're at the levels of speed that you're at now, sort of going to warp, there's not a whole lot you can do to catch up to them.
Yeah, high impulse already, and they're like 30 seconds away from the border. I don't know if we're catching them. Could we, however, create an advantage that it does enough damage, technobabble, that we can that it marks that the damage does a clear mark to the ship, like it ionizes some yada yada or something. I don't have my technobabble sheet up.
Oh sure, yeah,
but we can determine this ship out of any other ship.
Sure, dephase their couplers or something like that. Yeah, absolutely, you could do that.
Yeah, so we can identify this ship on our sensors should it come back. Does that sound good?
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
that's good. I can do that.
Yeah. So with that,
with their engines already being high stress too, it'll slow them down. You'll be able to catch up close to them, but not quite. Short of going into the neutral zone at the speeds you guys are going, you can't like directly catch up to them.
We're not going to make it to them until they get to the neutral zone, and at this point, I don't think it would be best for us to follow them in there, and they know that. Make sure to get their signatures. We definitely did some damage there. I want to be able to identify this ship if it comes anywhere near Federation space again.
I kept.
A few seconds later, the Packlet ship does cross into the neutral zone and then responds to your hail.
Any neener, any boo boo.
A little bit like that. If I can get back to where they're open. I need to make that picture bigger. I don't know. Can you guys see that picture? It doesn't.
Yes.
All right. The Packlet sitting there on the promenade. hang on. Ooh. I don't feel good in my stomach. He comes on the screen. Federation starship. You have failed to catch the Packlids. I am Ugesk. Ugesk. That's how I pronounced that originally. I am ruler of the star system. That's all he says. Got a definitely arrogant look on his face.
Captain Ugesk, I do hope that the Romulans show you better hospitality than we have managed to here in the Federation. But do know that you have committed a crime against our sovereign space, and you are not welcome back. You hold no claim here. We will be patrolling this region for the time to come. You stay right there as long as you want, but don't cross back into Federation space.
He just kind of smiles and then turns off the monitor. You note that a Romulan warship does decloak on a matching side of the neutral zone. Show to everyone. This big boy here. It is matching your maneuvers on your side, on its side, I mean. You guys can do what you want. They don't hail or anything.
Okay. Silva's on con, right?
Mhm.
Silva, begin to veer us away from the border. Not too quickly, but we're not running.
Like a mako, like a shark at an aquarium. Got it.
We're just getting back to our own business, just as the Romulans can on their own. We'll let them deal with the Packlids for the time being.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll be very. I'm sure they'll show them proper justice. Silva says as she rolls her eyes.
Commander, could you get anything off the Packlid? You're muted. Uh-oh.
Nope.
Headset die.
Nope.
Always something.
Oh,
You're
There you
back.
go.
There-
You're back.
there-
Oh, nope, gone again.
Oh, it's when
Oh,
you
live
tilt your head.
technology.
When you tilt
It's-
your head, we can hear you.
It's powered by frustration. You just have to stay angry at it.
Yep.
Just intense bursts.
Oh, now we
No,
can't.
let's go ahead and take 5. I gotta
All right.
block somebody on YouTube anyway.
All right,
Mm.
And then we'll come back to it. Hopefully I've got her stuff figured out there.
fair enough.
We're back. We'd have been back sooner. We solved the technical difficulties, but I am unfortunately still sick. So
We had to argue about
Sounds-
mushrooms too.
and I had to argue about mushrooms, and we'll get on here one day and talk about Star Trek Discovery because I need to watch it, but we'll get in there one day and have a real fight about it.
At the very least,
mean-
we need to watch Lower Decks now.
I also, just on a side note, I am really looking forward to Strange New Worlds. It looks really good.
Mhm.
Of space
So-
horses.
Yes, because I mean, everybody's into horses. So where we left off was
Slowly veering away from the Romulan neutral zone.
yes,
Uh-huh.
and we were trying to get the Savi, not the Savi. Somebody on that side was supposed to be getting comms.
Oh, that, but we were also getting an empathy roll or
Yeah.
whichever.
Ah, yes.
Doing the
You
short
don't-
thing.
You don't need one to read the backlit. He
He's an
he was
arrogant
feeling
motherfucker.
arrogant,
Okay.
But
a little
Uh,
scared, but arrogant.
could that be refined any further down? Like they're possibly supported by the Romulans, or did they just run there because we were chasing them?
For that, I'll give you. You can make a roll for that. Yeah.
Reason and
Look at the sheet real quick.
And
Empathy isn't a thing.
it's a
It's
focus.
usually medicine,
Okay. Do that.
and it would be insight, not reason.
Insight. I can
Usually.
do
I would have figured insight command, but I could see
I
medicine
could, I could see either way depending on the situation.
depending on how you do it. Yeah,
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 yeah.
the
I'm
book-
I'm fine
more
with either one
insight
of those.
command, but
The book
yeah.
doesn't really address it. I did find a on the Modifius forum, somebody had laid out, and I don't know if this is an official person or not. Oh no, copy paste from Nathan Dowell or Dowdell. Did lay out suggestions.
Yeah.
And they used medicine for therapeutic uses or using psychological and neurological knowledge to understand how the mind works.
Basically, anything that you can combine and have a good reason for it to be combined is how Star Trek is designed. So,
Right.
if you want to try command, you can do command. If you want to do medicine, that's fine too.
I'm fine with, because we're basically looking for the
Motivations.
emotions. Yeah. I'm good with
I want to know if the Romulans are trying to start something by putting the pack leads up to it.
Right.
that. What's my complication range?
Normal complication.
Normal. Okay. So this does not actually give you your rolled number. It just gives you success,
If you-
failure.
If you scroll over, it'll show you what you actually rolled, but it's kind of hard to read.
It shows me a shit ton of numbers. And
It's the first number on the bottom row. So it's 10 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
10 and 15, I think. But either way, you got one success and one
Okay.
failure.
I see. Okay. All right, that makes sense. Thank you,
Okay.
Brian.
With one success, you get the impression that when the warbird decloaked, the pack leads kind of puckered.
Okay.
Like that is not a thing they wanted to be there.
That is good to know.
It would appear, at least, the Romulans are not protecting them, and they. Whether
Okay.
we see that ship again is a whole different question.
Well, at least we know that the Romulans aren't trying to start something through an intermediary, but that does leave those Patleds in a precarious situation. I'm not sure whether they want a problem with us more than they want a problem with the Romulans, but well, when it comes to our judicial system, they might eventually decide they want to pick a fight with us. Well, over the Romulans at the very least. Turn us back around to the Ferengi vessel. We did offer our support, but let's keep sensors open to this stretch of the neutral zone. I want to know the second that pack-led ship starts creeping back over.
Elizabeth is going to walk off the bridge and then she's going to poke her head back in. Oh, I forgot to ask. Should I get a team together to go help the Ferengi?
An away team is what she's asking, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember where Yesbeth falls in the hierarchy of engineers we have.
It's
Kostra,
ambiguous.
Kostra has made it quite clear he does not wish to leave his engine rooms, and she is an engineer.
Sure. Yes, Ensign, good call. Before you make any more good calls in the future, do keep me apprised.
And then she ducks her head back out.
Hailing the Ferengi ship then.
Please.
How did you get the border on the characters? Because the border looks better.
I'll show you how. There's a tool. I can.
We'll do that later. On screen appears this fine Loby gentleman. Not exactly that character from the original show, but that's all right. I found photos that I could use. Federation Starship Europa. This is Damon Lupic. Thank you for your assistance. It is most timely considering we are in your space.
What brings you here, Damon Lubick? You're a ways from Ferenginar.
Oops, I just X'd out his face.
He just kills Orb. Blah.
Oh,
Romulans
shit, I'm
materialize on
waiting
the
home.
bridge. And
That's that pack-led secret weapon right there. We are on a trade mission with the Federation star bases in the area.
I'm going to telepathically just nudge the commander, the doctor commander. Hey, check that out.
Already on it.
Well, then we
he-
welcome you in our space. The Ferengi and the Federation have been known to do good business.
I don't think I can be on that. Hold on. That might be one of the races I can't read.
Oh, no, I just mean, look into databases,
Yeah.
like contacts.
Google it.
Yeah, Google.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, we're like right next to 173. You could probably even if you don't need, we could probably just access their computer and see if they're, due to dock.
Yes.
No, makes much more sense. She like stops for a minute. She's like,
Oh yeah, look stuff up. Damn it.
I hate analog.
Yeah, you quickly discover that Lupek has several trading partners in the area. He's an intermediary between the Federation and several other outlying systems and worlds.
Them back seems legit.
So Damon, I understand your ship got into some trouble there. How can we be of assistance?
We are having trouble with life support. It is still online, but it is damaged. Other than that, I believe my engineers can get most things were operational.
We'll send over a team if that would be useful to you.
He kind of smiles. It would be acceptable.
Have you had any problems in this region of space before, or with these Pakleds?
The Pakleds are becoming quite a nuisance in this region of space. We have requested the Federation do something about it before, but we have only been harassed by Klingons.
Well, hopefully your former problems should be, remain former problems.
I should hope so. It is getting to the point where I may have to call in additional resources, which eats into my profits.
Well, I will be sure to pass that along to Starbase 173 when they assess the resources that they spend to make sure this area of space is hospitable to normal travel. In the meantime, we'll make sure that you get where you're going safely.
Kind of nods. Thank you, Captain. And then cuts the screen out.
What's the status of their shields?
Shields are about 20%. They're currently turned off because, beaming.
Mhm.
But
how do we feel about sending Kova over there with them, with the engineering team?
So out of character, I think it'd be better if it was Mills, because that way we could do Mills, Tom, and Gage, all three of us.
Sure. Okay. So I'm gonna call down to Mills, who is now full lieutenant, right?
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you can call down, you can turn around.
Oh, right. She's where I usually stand.
Yes.
yes.
I do go about to tap my and then just, Lieutenant Mills,
Yes, sir.
how about you join our engineering team while we're over there? Do make a point to express you are there for their safety as well. While their shields are down, it could be dangerous if the Packlets come back and decide to board the ship.
Sir.
Keep an eye on Yesbeth and Tong. They get very focused on their own work. I don't need the Ferengi appropriating any misplaced items.
All right. Beaming over.
All right.
Tong, Elizabeth, and Mills beam over to Lupex Latinum. Daemon Lupec is he's actually working with a couple of the other Ferengi to get some debris and things moved out of the way, to get to a couple of the panels and start working on some stuff. So he is a hands-on looking guy. When you appear, he stops and turns and looks at the highest ranking of you, which I think is going to be Mills, right? Ah, engineers.
You know, Mills and Tong, I think, are.
Mills and Tong are the same rank now.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, he does not look at Tong.
Ooh.
Mills and he looks at Mills and engineers, please. There is much to be done.
So she'll actually correct him. These are our engineers, Lieutenant Tong and Vincent Hage. I am simply here to ensure everyone. Should the I've already forgotten what the hell they're called. Packleds.
Packleds.
Should the Packleds return, we want to make sure you have a little firepower on your end.
Excellent. Stay on this side of the ship, please. The cargo bays are hazardous to humans.
Well, then it's certainly a good thing that I am here to assist you. Tong's going to run over and do the traditional, like, grab both hands and start, like, bowing
Yeah.
real jittery, like.
Yeah, he the daemon is sort of polite, but as soon as he manages to pry his hand away from you, he takes out a little hanky and kind of wipes his hand off. It's like, excellent to meet you, Lieutenant Tong. There is much to do over there.
Good. Well, I will get right back to work. Fine ships these are. I would know.
Yes. You should also stay out of the cargo room, as it is dangerous for human adjacent. And goes back to working.
Paige is gonna go give one of those looks like, ooh, burn.
Yeah, there's a slight, like a real slight drop to Tong's usual chipper behavior before he bounces back and just turns back to Yesbeth. I believe should be right over here, if I remember. This one.
She nods and follows.
All right. You guys get to work. Go ahead and leave that right there for the moment. Take all of this and move it down. Can I move all of it down? I can move all of it down.
Did the daemon leave us? It's just the three of us in engineering.
Yeah, he'll flutter in and out as needed. He's just doing work on the ship, so he's not like overseeing you or anything.
Okay. When there are no other Ferengi around, Mills will ask. So I know Ferengi are very guarded about their financial dealings, and I know my understanding is you've come out of your culture, so that could be some of the tension too. But should we be concerned about what might be in the cargo bay?
Well, you know what they say: loose lips sink ships, and ships are quite expensive. So it could be nothing, or it could be a cargo bay full of very illicit, very legal goods.
I could rig up some sensors, see if we can't pierce the cargo holds. I think I could manage it.
We can do it discreetly. I'd like to not start problems with the Ferengi.
We do have quite sophisticated sensor jamming technology when it comes to our cargo bays. Their cargo bays.
Do you want me to do a roll for that to see if I can rig that up, or do we want to cut the scene and come back to this?
It depends if you guys are actually going to do it or not.
Yeah, I think we are. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Contemplating. She will hail back. Captain,
Lieutenant?
the Lupek is a little cagey about the cargo bay, and as Ferengi often are. I wanted a judgment call as to whether or not we should attempt to scan what they have just in case it's dangerous or contraband, or if we should simply leave it.
See if you can figure anything out without tampering or prying into their privacy too much. If they're heading to Starbase 173, they'll have to go through customs anyway.
Yeah.
If the engineers can trace any faults that may go back to anywhere even adjacent to the cargo bays, you may be able to persuade them that it could be in their best financial interest to make sure that that area of the ship remains safe and secure.
Sure.
Keep me apprised.
Will do. Smells out. All right. Let's hold off on attempting to pierce their cargo bays, but should you happen to notice anything anything awry in the area of the cargo bays, let me know, and we will ask to secure that for them.
So back on the bridge, who's on sensors now? Just some
O'Connor,
random yellow
probably.
shirt? O'Connor. Okay. O'Connor, are the shields still down? I would hope so, since we have people over there.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Well, let's see if, since they're heading to the starbase anyway, if we can facilitate their transition from their space into ours. Let's give their cargo bay a scan.
Sure.
About that time, the pack leads go to warp
In what direction?
deeper into along the neutral zone.
Along the neutral zone.
Yep.
Okay. Towards 173 or away?
They would be heading galactic south, which would be away.
Okay.
Damn. I take it you didn't mean to roll 5 dice there.
I did not mean to. It's like, wait, what?
Like, what are you doing?
I'm taking all of the momentum and I'm giving him some threat too. This is very important. Let's try that again with far fewer dice.
3 successes.
Still pretty legit.
Difficulty was 3 because they do have sensor dampeners. You detect they have sensor dampeners.
Okay.
But you get a good scan and it appears to be perishable, like food goods.
Raise your hand if you believe that.
I mean, we're supposed to have some pretty sophisticated sensors.
Europa's got some pretty good sensors. You can still roll for the ship too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like the one thing Europa's really got going for it.
Sensors.
And I believe you have this advanced sensor package on this thing too.
Yeah, which gives us a free question.
Right.
What would that role be though? Sensors and security? Science?
For what you're scanning for, I'm going to say science.
Cool. The ship's better at that anyway.
We do get a free question. We also have advanced sensor suites, which lowers the difficulty by 1. I need to remind you about that in the future.
Right.
Okay.
So difficulty
Oh,
would
well.
only be 2 then.
Which is good, because that generates some momentum for us.
Right. The ship did not succeed because Eva's mad about having been turned off for a month.
Don't
Reasonable.
blame her.
But you still get 1 momentum, so you have 2 questions you can ask. You get that it appears to be foodstuffs.
Appears to be.
I think the appropriate question is: it actually food stuff?
Right.
As far as your sensors are able to detect in any capacity, yes, it is foodstuffs. It is exotic foodstuffs. Things like Orion foods. It's non-traditional human foods.
Anything that's on the Federation blacklist?
Not that you can tell with the ship sensors. Probably not.
That's fine.
You'd have to get. You'd
they're
have to
food
get in.
stuff.
Yeah, it would either be a lot of it, or you'd have to get in there pretty finite with
Okay.
a tricorder to get like. There's a bottle of ramen ale hidden underneath the ga.
Yeah, I'm
That would be
not
it.
concerned about that.
Right.
Their food stuff isn't plagued by tribble or anything.
Doesn't appear to be.
All right. Cool.
It's non-human digestible food like kale.
Don't have any exploding
Yes,
cabbages or
kale.
anything. All right.
Does the storage method seem, and maybe I'm thinking about this too much. Does the storage method seem to be congruent with the scan results we're getting?
It's a good one.
It does, however, and I'll burn up your momentum doing this one. The volume is inconsistent.
Okay.
The
The amount-
volume is
the amount-
inconsistent with the
So-
volume we detect of food stuff.
Correct. Yes, the volume of foodstuffs that the ship is able to carry, and that your sensors are showing it carrying, are inconsistent with the actual scans. So it's you're getting 2 numbers from your scanner basically, like you're getting kind of almost like a shadow. Like you're getting the volume is the cargo hold should be full of foodstuffs, but then you'll get the occasional scan where it's like 85 or 90% full of foodstuffs. Like there's some kind of sensor shadow. And it could be contributed to the storage method with using freezer banks or something along those lines. But as far as sensors, as far as Europa is concerned, it is 85 to 100% foodstuffs, and unable to determine what the rest of the percentage would be other than it's foodstuffs.
Either our sensors are malfunctioning, sir, or they are definitely masking something.
They do have dampeners. It could be an issue with the dampeners as well. They definitely have sensor dampeners though.
Could be the sensor dampeners messing with things.
Okay. They would be, I don't know about broadcasting, but it would be available to see their shipping manifest, right?
Correct.
Just access that. See if you can put our sensor data along with this manifest, send it over to 173. We'll have them sorted out when we're done with this problem. Hopefully it doesn't become a bigger problem than it needs to be. As it is, the Packlets have left. While you're at it, you might as well forward the sensor telemetry we got from the Pack-led ship back to Narendra Station, just in case they wind up anywhere near there or any of our other patrolling ships.
There. We'll do that.
Yeah, looking at, I'll move you guys over here real quick just to show you. Might take a second for your screens to load.
Then we have to zoom way out. All right.
You guys are roughly here around, what was that, P42, I believe. The Pack-led ship went, yeah, there you go. Galactic South, so they're heading towards the Iconia area. Probably not that far, but.
Okay.
And Narendra's way over here.
Oh, yeah, Narendra's all the way over there. Okay.
Yeah. So the Expanse is actually that yellow part over there. You guys are in the claimed Federation space at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So. Because everything that isn't claimed by somebody else, the Federation claims.
Humans. Any other Federation installations down that way? I imagine we're stretched pretty
Sensor
thin as
outposts
far-
and stuff like that. That's about it. Yeah, it's unmanned stuff mostly.
Could
Space
we tie into
telescopes.
those sensor outposts?
Sure.
Yeah, O'Connor, tie into those sensor outposts. Let's see if we can trail these signals together, follow them as long as we can.
You can. It puts you on the extended long range stuff, but yeah, you guys can track them for a while. They do eventually get out of, range of one and then come up in another, and they appear to just be kind of poking around at some of the worlds in neutral zone space. There are a few uninhabitable worlds.
They're staying in the neutral zone band.
They are staying in the neutral zone. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Clearly, they're aware that. Clearly, you can assume they are aware that neither the Federation nor the Romulans are willing to cross neutral zone for fear of the other.
Mm.
So they're kind of safe in there. Rats in the wall kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Back aboard the. Well, actually, does anybody have anything they want to do in the meantime while there are minor things going on? Either on the Pack-led ship, either on the Ferengi ship or Europa, before we get into any other story points.
Well,
Could be a good time for like downtime or conversational.
yeah, I would. I think Yezbeth is going to begin fixing the Ferengi ship, and she's going to talk to Tom as they're doing it. Lifting the panels, waving things over things, and have a little bit of conversation while we're doing that. And she's going to ask it, is it weird being back on a Ferengi ship? They don't seem to like you very much.
Well, different paths in life and all that. Very, very different ships than the Federation. Very, very, very different.
I never asked. Have you gone home since joining Starfleet?
I mean, there really hasn't been much time. I really devoted myself to the academy and all that. Top of my class, really, in engineering, quite good. Made good grades, and then I was shipped out here on the Europa, and it's been a great time. It has been a great time. Just haven't really had the chance to go back home or anything, which is fine because I'm busy.
Sure. I know how you feel. Well, I'm glad you're here on the Europa. You're among friends.
Looks around to perhaps like wandering Ferengi in the background.
Well, not quite here. You know what I mean.
Right. Of course. Yes, Beth.
So should we roll to see if we are able to fix the ship, or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
One of you guys can roll, the other one can assist. Difficulties 2.
If
Life support systems, if you have it as a specialty.
yeah, right, actually, that's one I usually take. I don't think I did with Yezabeth. Nope, I did not. I did take troubleshooting, so we know if that applies.
I know Tong is really good with
Oh, I did take
power
it.
systems.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. I did take environmental systems.
Cool.
You'll always be good with the air conditioning. That's so I'm going to go ahead and give you a threat. Tom, you're assisting. I would like to use my talent right tool for the right job to say I also have the right tool that we need to give advantage on this roll. Would that be okay?
It's fine. Shout out to the Goat Gaming Syndicate who just popped in.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to join the game for theirs. It's starting tomorrow, but I don't have time for it right now, unfortunately.
Right on.
Summer.
But continue. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay. So that's
Nice.
Yeah, 6 total. That'll generate some momentum for us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or 7 total because of the advantage. So
You fixed the crap out of it.
Is there any way Tong could tie into this to do something stupid?
Sure, you got enough successes. It wouldn't even be that difficult to do.
Because Secret Agent Tong didn't go that well the first time, but when you fall off the horse, you get back on. So Tong would like to see if he could reroute some things, because he's very good with rerouting internal sensors and whatnot.
Sure.
We saw with the first bout of Secret Agent Tong. I want to see if he could tie in the life support system from the ship, bypass through sensors into the life support system for the cargo bay and its preservation area, and see if you can get any more information.
You want to basically tie in the sensors to the life support system to get a reading of what's going on in the cargo bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like an obtained information spend with momentum to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got the 6 momentum. Well, you actually have the difficulty was 2. You rolled 7, right? So you have 5. You have 5 momentum.
Mm-hmm.
I gave you 6, but you have 5. So yeah, you can definitely do that. Let's go ahead and do. What do you think? 1 momentum to go ahead and start the process. Let's do that. Go ahead. You basically you can ask a bunch of questions. You definitely have tied in, and you've got up to 5 questions you can ask.
I'm going to recommend you not ask all 5. Let's keep some momentum for a little while.
I mean, I think the only question I need is what's going on with the cargo system, with the cargo bay. What's in there?
All right. Well, you get quickly without having to spend any momentum. You quickly get that there is it's foodstuffs. There is a dampener in place. The dampener is on your end showing that it's showing a false reading of 100% full cargo of foodstuffs when the actual scanners that you have access to inside are showing it's closer to about 85-90%, and that there is a module inside of the cargo bay under a bunch of the plant life that appears to be siphoning separate life support system.
Okay, say that last bit again. There's a module
inside of the cargo bay underneath a lot of the plants. So it's kind of being masked also by plant life, putting life on top of life kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That is siphoning life support on its own. So you've got the cargo bay's main life support, and then you've got this separate life support funnel to this bay, this little nodule that's approximately, given size and everything else, is probably big enough for 2 or 3 people to sit in.
Okay.
So that's what, about 9 cubic meters?
Can I get life signs?
Directly life signs, no, but you can get that there is a consumption level in the approximately equivalent to 3 life forms. But you don't actually get any life signs.
I'm trying to think back to many of the different episodes in which Ferengi had princesses on ice, as to whether they actually saw that there was somebody in there or not. I think you're right that stasis keeps life signs down too low to detect. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of. Hey, Mills. Psst, hey, psst, over here.
What you got?
You see this here, and I put that over there, and then that one, or there's something hidden.
Get to the point.
There's something hidden underneath all that. I don't know, weird lettuce or something. Could be a pod full of people, which I think definitely counts as illicit contraband.
The chances they're just refugees and the Ferengi being really nice and smuggling them out of somewhere bad.
Oh, okay.
No, that wasn't a hint. That was never mind.
I might be able to break it. I'll let them out.
Yeah, real shame if that were to get broken. It's an absolute shame. Look at
Just
this
very
interesting thing over
slowly
here I
starts
need to
moving a
look at.
hypospanner over to.
Mills finds something very interesting on the opposite wall to stare at.
And that is all the permission Tong needs.
So you're turning off the life. You're turning off the. What exactly are you doing?
I want to trip a very minor power spike, which, if it is a cryo system, would cause it to the safeguards to kick on and defrost.
Okay. Yeah, that happens.
But I want it to look like a normal systems failure tied in with all of the other damage that's been going on.
Sure. That won't really stop the alarm from going off, but yes.
Yeah.
That happens, and then an alarm goes off. You note the spike on your tricorder.
I really want a Secret Agent song, a Secret Agent Tong song that we can play in the background whenever he does this nonsense.
Secret Agent Tong. Yeah, so an alarm begins going off, and several Ferengi come running towards the back. 2 of them have phasers. They promptly look at the 3 of you, and
I'm there shaking my hand like I just got a plasma burn.
Right. At which point the daemon comes back into the back as well and looks at the 3 of you and taps his communicator. Starship Europa. For the safety of your crew, it is best if you beam them aboard immediately. We have a radiation leak.
Radiation leak, that wasn't reported in your initial concerns.
Appears to have been caused by a power spike in our containment system.
Well, one of our engineers down there is an expert in power systems. He should be able to provide assistance. I can beam over the necessary safety gear. No charge, of course.
At this time, it is simply best if your crew leaves.
I would have to remind you of Federation policy. Any large enough radiation source warranting danger like this should undergo proper Federation scrutiny and repair.
Once we have locked down
this, it would be our sign of hospitality to ensure that while you are within our space, nothing happens to you or your ship.
Once we have locked down the primary cause, your crew may return to assist.
Is there like any sort of like Picard role I can do to just convince like strong on him, like diplomatically?
I don't know.
Because that's kind of what I was going for.
Right.
But I am not the people who wrote for
Right.
Picard.
Right. Give me it would be a command roll. Let's say either reason in command or daring in command.
Okay, this is not Tong anymore. This is Ambrose. Yeah, definitely daring and command.
The difficulty is 2, and I'm gonna spend a threat to make it 3.
Okay. Difficulty is 3. Gotcha.
Correct.
Okay. Do I have anything else here? Focus on diplomatic relations. I want to just start quoting him, Federation procedure.
I would say that would be a little more like Federation law than diplomatic procedure. I get what you're going for.
All right.
Focus is, let's see.
That would be the only one that would even remove.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
All right.
That'll come up probably later.
One success. It's probably about as good as I was doing already.
He hesitates for a second, and then you hear something in the background, and then he tells you that this is a discussion we can have later, Captain. Your crew needs to go immediately.
Very well. I'll beam them back aboard and let Starbase 173 know that they will require hazmat. Bring them back.
You beam them back.
Let's try to keep sensors on them as much as we can.
You do get 3 new life signs aboard ship. Go ahead and give me a roll to see if you can tell what the life signs are. Oh, Jesus, yes. And you have...
Sensor signs from the ship?
Yes. Yes, so 5 total, difficulties 2, so you get 3 questions, plus an extra one for the ship being the thing. You got 1 difficulty, actually you got 2 more, because the ship sensors would reduce difficulty by 1, so you're actually at 4, plus an extra question, so 5. The first thing you get is they are humanoid life signs. They appear to be Antedian.
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
They're the fish people that were frozen in the episode.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Throw them up on the screen real quick here. Antedians. Those guys. You guys would have to see it in the Zoom, I think.
I knew exactly what you were talking about. There's only so many fish people.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Fish people. Yeah. 4 more questions if you want to ask them. Or you can save the momentum. That's also fine. You currently have 4 momentum.
Mm-hmm. We have 4 momentum that we could.
You have 4 momentum. You have 4 momentum you could bank. You also have 4 that are currently banked.
Okay, we can only bank up to 6, so we might as well
Correct.
use at least 2 more questions. Can we get a medical readout?
Not a precise one, but they appear to be. They do appear to be alive. They are in. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if we could necessarily do this with the scanner's momentum.
These sensors don't seem all that sophisticated to me.
They're pretty advanced. So the difficulty thing was
Or-
I mean,
they
don't
have one of
really- they
those
don't-
really troublesome plot focusing emitters.
They don't really you don't really ever show on Star Trek the sensors ever being able to do like complete medical bio scans of like you got their race already.
I don't know. You could be up in orbit, zoom in on one person, and tell what they had for breakfast.
I don't know if they ever really show that in the show. They talk about it sometimes, but sometimes they don't. Then again, you also had episodes where they were like using a recorder, a microphone to
Yeah, it's all over the
weed
place.
out, you know,
Whatever the plot
heartbeats and shit.
demands.
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah.
show is not consistent
fine.
with this.
Is not
That is
consistent.
that is true.
I would say to get hyper accurate medical scans, you'd have to have a tricorder, but they're definitely alive. They're definitely Antedian.
I mean, can we at least see if they're irradiated or like carrying plague? Like those are
Yeah, okay, that kind
normal
of stuff. No,
sensors for us to detect.
yeah, you are not from this distance or anything like that. You're not detecting any kind of radiation or pathogens.
Biohazard. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Knowing now that there is something to look for and what and where, can Dasabi get a read on
A telepathic read?
that? Mm-hmm.
Yes. They're highly susceptible to telepathic reads.
Oh, fantastic. That was
That was a good episode, or at least that last bit.
One. That is sufficient because they are highly susceptible.
good. Hit
Um,
roll.
yeah. What do you want to know? They are an open book.
The first thing she wants to know is are they afraid?
Yes.
Okay.
However, they are also still quite groggy. Kind of like being woken up in the middle of a deep sleep.
Right. Is there any way for her to get an idea of whether or not they are supposed to be there? Like they're there of their own volition?
You would probably assume that over time, once they thought and have a more reasonable understanding of where they are, probably. But there's a lot of confusion as to where they even are.
Okay.
They are quite confused at the moment.
Okay.
This isn't one of my token questions, but like smuggling people like this is clearly against Federation policy. Like this is not normal transportation method.
Right.
It is not a normal transportation method. However, if they are being
Refugees.
transported of their own volition, it is not necessarily illegal, but it is definitely frowned upon that they were hiding it from you.
But it's in our jurisdiction to ask them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that we
yeah.
know, okay.
Yeah. They're in your jurisdiction. You can do whatever you want at this point, really. Like
Red alert,
if you're,
armed torpedoes.
if you're wrong about what's
That's
legal and
not
what isn't,
Ferengi.
comes up later.
I thought we took Koba off. God damn it.
We got a little sidetracked, but I think we still have two.
You have two more sensor questions, and then
Yeah.
you've gotten about all you're going to get from a roll of a 1 for their telepathy.
Right.
But they're definitely alive. They're definitely healthy from what you can gather. Like they don't appear to be injured or anything like that from your scans or from your telepathy. Just a lot of confusion. And they're coming to, but it's taking several minutes because frozen fish.
You said that as we were beaming away, we saw Ferengi going back there with weapons drawn. Can we see through our sensors what is actually taking place?
There has been no weapons fire. You would be able to detect that, no problem.
Okay.
There has been no internal weapons fire. At the moment, the Ferengi are around the Antedians, but what they're actually doing, I mean, it's not X-ray vision, so
Yeah, fair. I think that's
there
all I
doesn't
got.
appear to be any. There does not appear to be any like elevated, like severely elevated heart rates or anything like that. There's no violence occurring as far as you can tell. There are no indicators of violence. No big-eyed cats or anything staring at you.
All Well, it's your call. Do you want to have us pull over and check them out, or let them pass? Or you can ask our characters' opinions.
Well, Ambrose's instinct would of course be to hail and start demanding explanation. I mean, we're still at yellow alert, I would imagine. So, and their shields are powered down. They have problems, so we're in a commanding lead here.
Yeah. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Right. You hail them. It takes them several seconds before they respond. But eventually Daemon Lupek comes back on the screen. Ah, Commander. Captain. I'm sorry for the long delay. Things have been hectic here since the power spike.
I understand that 3 additional people have shown up on your ship. I was initially concerned that perhaps the Packleds or a cloaked Romulan ship had managed to make its way back. How are your guests? I assume they are guests.
He's got a distinctive look of annoyance on his face. The Antedians are well. They are unfortunately awake much earlier than they anticipated.
Well, I would like to take this opportunity then to welcome them into Federation territory. I would very much like to speak with them.
That is not something they're going to want to do, Captain.
Well, as guests within our space, their want is irrelevant. They still have to check with the proper authorities.
You can hear him mumbling something under his breath it's just light enough that you can hear him, the word Latin a couple times. And if you insist, Captain, I will inform the Antedians that you wish to speak with them.
Very good. Please, Daemon Lubeck, extend the Federation's hospitality. Should they wish to board our ship, I would be happy to greet them.
Very well. Stand by. The screen goes off for a few seconds. Comes back on. There is Daemon Lupek and one of the Antedians. Captain, this is my guest. He says a name in Antedian that is him and his companions booked passage. I will let them explain. The Antedian starts going off in the poorly designed costume gesticulations and poorly moving mouth parts. Very much like a rapid speaking Tong. We are on a diplomatic envoy to the Orion sector. This is not Federation business.
Oh, we'll speak out of turn, and he'll say, so you mind explaining why you've had your sensors bafflers up? If that's all that was going on here.
The Antedian kind of gesticulates wildly and the Daemon kind of puts his hand in his face for a second. The Antedians did not wish to be known that they were going to the Orion space for fear of things like Packleds. The Federation space has been unsafe lately, and these envoys did not wish to be taken captive in the event that something were to happen, like we were attacked by Packleds.
Well, it seems like you were attacked by Packlids anyway, so it didn't do you much good. You still could have told us.
Who's
Probably
this
shoots
speaking?
Koba alone.
Koba.
Yeah, I'm also shooting Kobo a look.
I hadn't talked
Well.
for 30 minutes. I had to say something.
I can see Koba saying that too.
I've been on the bridge for 30 minutes and haven't spoken.
I assume we didn't get any name that for this Antedian that we could recreate with human speech.
No.
Okay.
No, and it's not
So-
a name. It's recognizable in databases. I
Okay.
guess. Some likely low level dignitary.
Damon Lubeck and your Antedian friend, you could have made this a much easier journey, especially if protection was a concern, by allowing the Federation to escort you. I don't want to belittle the efforts of the Damon and his quite respectable ship here, but you are in our space. It is a point of pride to the Federation that we maintain the safety of those who travel within it.
At no
Also,
cost
is the
to-
Orion space like anywhere near us?
There are a number of Orion outposts north of you, like in the galactic north of you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's not like
It's not central
official
Orion,
Orion space.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They're outposts, and it's largely syndicate territory.
Yeah, like we don't know of any official like the Orions we recognize
Correct.
space out here.
Correct.
Well, if you would like, since we are now properly introduced, we could offer you the hospitality of Starbase 173 while we sort this all out, and then we can see you on your way to your meeting.
The Antedians yell at the Ferengi some more, and he just looks at the screen, not exacerbated, but exhausted. It is acceptable, Captain. I'm going to have to issue refunds. And he pushes the button.
Any better read now that they're more awake, Doctor?
Yeah, without even a roll, you definitely get that they're angry with the Ferengi. And it does seem his story, the Ferengi story is pretty up and up. Like the one time the Ferengi's like, yeah, no, I don't want to get shot at by the fucking Federation right now.
The one time a Ferengi tells the truth.
It's already lost the money.
It would seem our large-lobed friend was telling the truth, and he's going to be out a fair bit of Latinum.
Clover crosses his arms. I still don't buy it. Why keep his secret from us? You think they would have at least told us?
The Ferengi and the
Secrecy
Antedians are
is-
both secretive people in general, though it would benefit both of them financially and diplomatically to make their lives far more easier and stop being so covert with these unnecessary problems.
Amen.
There is some sense you do get a sense from the Antedians that there is at least some anger that the Federation is now involved. The distance you're at, I mean, distance doesn't really play a huge factor in telepathy in the show, but there are 3 minds, and you're trying to, from across the starship and everything else. But there's definitely like they had business that they needed to get done, and they needed to be asleep to get there and whatever else. They're very angry with the Ferengi.
The other
So-
Antedians in TNG, they were in hibernation or something. Like they weren't frozen, but they were in some sort of personal
Correct.
hibernation. Is there I don't remember. Is there a physiological reason for that? Are they going to die on this trip here because they didn't sleep enough?
No, I think they just do.
They just
that.
don't like space.
They just don't like. They're spacefaring, but they appear to not really be fans of
Mhm.
travel.
Yeah, I
guess. don't
I
know
think
if
that's all it was. They just didn't like traveling through space. Cool.
Antedians found spaceflight extremely traumatic, and survived the ordeal by entering a self-induced catatonic state.
Okay.
In this case, it was not just self-induced.
Yeah, like this is an extra, like a suspiciously
Extra step.
extreme extra step to that.
Yeah.
Well, so far they're being a nuisance about it, but they haven't done anything dangerously out of line. I'd say we stick with what we've offered them. And hopefully with us looking over their shoulder, they won't get into any trouble.
Are you going to escort them back to Starbase, or are you going to just kind of censor them back to Starbase?
No, we're there as their escort now. They made a point in claiming that this was dangerous space. We are escorting them to Starbase 173 for their protection.
Okay. As you begin to move off, the Romulan warbird cloaks.
Oh, they were still flying around out there? That's fine.
Oh yeah, as long as you're there, they're there. And when that, since we're so close to 9:30 anyways, I will forego the other thing I was going to do right now, and we'll come back to that next session. So let's go ahead and you guys are going to escort the Ferengi to Starbase 1 something
173.
173. And we'll call it there, and we'll pick up more or less there at Starbase next session.
I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like this plot hook here is like an octopus or something. There's just all kinds of feet landing, and
yeah, there was more, but we're running out of time. So
yeah,
there was a bunch to do with the Romulans and the Pakleds and everything else still. But
Mm.
since we're running low on time, if we don't end now, we'll get in the middle of something and have to stop in the middle of it.
yeah, that's fair. I kept trying to like, this looks suspicious. I'm gonna cut that off, and then no, it's fine. All right, this looks suspicious. I'm gonna cut that. No, like,
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get there. There's still more to do with the Pakleds and the Romulans and such. So I wanted to introduce a Romulan character this session, but we're not going to have. We don't. That would be time inconsistent. So
I was going to it. I figured the Romulan showed up because we chased the Pakled so close to the neutral zone. I thought the Ferengi ship was further back, and once we backed off, they went away. But Jack was
They
aware
were-
that the Romulans
they were
around,
mirroring
I
you
probably
what.
would've
Yeah, the
thought-
Romulans were mirroring you the entire time, and they'll
Okay.
do that anytime.
That's fine.
That's the
Mhm.
whole flag
That-
thing.
yeah,
Right? So,
yeah, that makes sense. I just didn't have the right understanding of where we were geographically. Yeah.
All right. So, what moment stands out most to you this evening? I must say, I actually liked the conversation between Tong and Yezabeth about Tong's past and his current situation. That's pretty good.
Oh, I thought you were referencing the one in the Tongo bit
Yeah,
about Yezbeth's whole
I like that
mental
too.
hodgepodge right now.
I like that too.
I like
but,
that. Yeah,
we haven't seen any of Tong's backstory really.
that's true. Yeah,
And
It's
I
the
like
first
that-
time Tonga's been around other Ferengi.
I like the juxtaposition of in the beginning of this episode, we're dealing with Tong's uncomfortability with the new Hage situation, and then Hage stepping forward and helping Tong with his current.
Mhm. Yeah, that was a great
insecurities.
mirror. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was very well played out. Anybody else have one?
I really liked Desavi and Ambrose working together as Captain and XO. I thought they made a great team together. So, if we end up going in that direction, which is looking more likely, I think it's a good direction. I'm happy with how the two of them have been acting together.
I really liked the Tong O'Connor and Eva sequence with, oh no, don't turn her voice back on, bad Tong.
Bad. Oh, bad.
Yeah.
Terrible.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
and Tong's whole like Tong is the complete opposite of where Foxwell is in his
Mhm.
understanding of Eva. He's like this is or Foxwell's like, this is a program, it's not sentient, let's press a whole bunch of buttons, get it working properly. And Tong's like, no, this is a person, you can't just turn her voice off.
Yeah, no. O'Connor's in the same exact same place. Like she's been questioning Eva's sentience on the this is clearly a sentient being side of things since the anti-Eva. Well, since the other Eva.
I just like that Tong got to go, well, I'm a lieutenant now.
Right.
And since Foxwell is also a lieutenant, he can't order me around. Even though that's
Right.
probably not how that works, but Secret Agent Tong. He can do what he wants.
Yeah. I feel like I'm putting a little bit much on Maxwell or on Foxwell, but since he wasn't here, I kind of had to figure out what I was going to do with him. So I'll have to talk to him and see if he's coming to the next session. And if not, we'll have to figure out what's going to do with that. But that'll be a thing between sessions. Who do you think best embodied their character today? I got to say, I really liked Yazabeth for the little bit we saw Yazabeth. I think Koba did exactly what I thought Koba would do in almost any situation, which is
Yeah, no, that was
you know.
fantastic.
Other than that, I think we didn't see a lot from any Ev's characters tonight, and we got a lot of Ambrose tonight. So
And I just imagine when Koba spoke up, it was Ambrose and Dasavi who were just sitting there in the first two chairs looking over like, okay, where's he going with this? This is all right. And then it just went too far and we were both like,
No.
shut up.
I like it.
Why we're not giving you a phaser cannon?
Rocket launcher or whatever.
Personal
For the-
photon grenade launcher, whatever it was.
Guided personal sized photon launcher. Perfectly reasonable.
What would you like to see from another player in the future? What thing did you see that you'd like to see more of? Kind of question. I'd like to see really a little bit. We were kind of limited on any of the interactions today. It was kind of a lot of dealing with what the Ferengi were doing and that kind of stuff. So, and it was it felt like a way shorter session than usual too. So
Yeah, this game went
was.
by. I mean, we started late, we had some problems, and we're ending late. Like we really
We're
only
ending
played for like
early,
2
yeah.
hours. So
yeah, it was a short one.
I would like to see more of Tong processing this whole like in your face Ferenginar versus Starfleet that he just got thrown at him.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm doing with that at the moment. I don't know that all Ferengi would be like that, but definitely this crew.
No, it makes sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we're a ways past Ensign.
No.
Nog.
no,
Nog,
it's not that
but not
long
that
after.
far. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
only
I'd
a year
imagine a
or
lot
two.
of Ferengi are still like you're
I mean,
in
you're
Starfleet,
probably-
you're anti-Ferengi or something like
Tong
that.
is probably
Not a
the
real
second
Ferengi.
Ferengi in Starfleet,
Yeah,
maybe the third.
Yeah.
Like, he's early, so yeah, it's definitely something going on. They're like,
I-
because let's see, Ensign Nog was like 23. So DS9 ended in 2375, right? It's 2376 now. It's we're not talking very many years.
Mhm. Yeah, and I imagine just like Nog, Tong was fast tracked because of the Dominion War. So
Right.
When we're off duty, Mills will definitely give Tong a hug.
I did really like the very short interaction between Tong and Mills with the whole, hey, I did this, which you totally told me not to do. But hey, I found something. And you're like, I'm going to look over here. Keep doing what you're doing.
Well, it's
It spoke-
fascinating. Have you
it-
seen
it's-
this wall?
Yeah, it really spoke to how each of those characters are
Mm.
in my mind.
Silva only got, I think, one speaking line in this episode. But
She got a fair amount.
did you? I like that Silva was thinking on her feet and trying to figure out how to stop the Packleds. The Packleds have 3 threat spending things on their ship, and they're all like, and if I fail the roll, the ship blows up.
Oof. That's Packleds for you.
That's Packleds for you. But like they go faster. They go like, I wrote one was, we are strong. We go fast now. What is that?
We're strong. We go fast now.
Yeah, I didn't expect we were going to catch them, but I wanted to give them a kick on kicking their pants on their way out.
Yeah, and you'll see more of the Packlets coming
I'm
up.
sure.
I wanted this session, this story arc that we're currently in has more with the Ferengi and the Packlets, and since you have escorted the Ferengi to the starbase, now I have to figure out what I want to do to change things, because that changes things a little bit. But
I was starting to get really concerned that I was spending a lot of our narrative time on something that you did not, like, you meant as a passing just kind of observation or red herring or something.
I definitely expected the Ferengi to be able to go on their way, and then they would come back to being attacked again later, which is fine. I can do something with that. I can make all this work. It's not a big deal.
Don't put something suspicious in front of me unless you want me to poke it a lot.
Yes. We'll talk about that off camera too. So
It's perfectly fair to say something is normal. Like,
yes,
if it looks like we're barking down the wrong tree, just feel free to say, no, this all is above board.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot. Like I said, like he said before, it felt like there's like a lot of story tentacles here, and there are a lot, because it's a kind of a confusing story but it's not. It's a lot of, like, I wrote backstory to justify why the story's happening. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the thing you guys have to find. You're just finding it. So, which is fine. It's what we do. It's what Star Trek is about, right?
Yeah.
If you could change one thing about the session, what would it be? For me, it would have been timing. I'd like to have a little bit more time. If I had not been feeling good, we could have started on time at 6:30.
MOAR.
Yeah. And I'm a little sad we're missing one player. So.
Yeah, that I'm disconcerted by that, because the last session made sense. There was a whole thing, but the fact that he hasn't responded.
No, we don't need to.
We'll talk about that off air.
We don't
it's
need to
fine.
get into it.
Yeah.
Things happen. We'll talk about it. We'll deal with it off camera. But
I reached out to him during the story too, and we'll talk. We'll discuss it, and we'll see what's going on, and we'll figure it out from there.
I have a thing unrelated to that. It's kind of a growing concern. I'm a little worried that I don't mean to speak for Eve. I'm definitely feeling it, but I don't know if you do. But I'm kind of feeling like I'm not having as much initiative as I'd like. Like, it feels like Ambrose is very instantly decides what we do, and then we do it, and which is okay. But I would like a little more consultation with officers so that way we as players can get some kind of initiative.
Don't worry, I was feeling that way too. So going forward, I'm gonna
This to be fair,
I'm with
in this particular episode, and I get it from last time too. Like, we've only had 2 episodes really. Like, this is the third, I guess. Yeah. But I get where you're coming from, and I absolutely believe that you're right. Like, we have not had a lot of the conference room scenes. We also I don't think they've felt in place yet either. This one probably could have had one as far as deciding what we're going to do with the Ferengi ship, but it was also the ship has just been attacked. What do we want to do?
Everything felt so fast paced in this episode.
Yeah.
At least it did to me, that I felt like, it's the captain's job to be like, hey, go here, do this, yada, yada. But
on that
definitely
point,
going forward, I want to do a lot more consultation, letting other people speak.
On that point, I think an opportunity would have been when when Elizabeth wanted to go take the away team over. That would have been a good time to have a conference room meeting. And I think a way we as a group could have addressed that would be, can we have a conference room meeting so we can talk about what we want to do next?
I don't think it necessarily has to be a conference. I want to stress, it's not necessarily that I want a conference room every 30 minutes, but you can ask us our opinions on things. Ask your security officer his opinion on the security issue. I would just love to get a little more feedback so we can all contribute and go back and forth on what we should do. And it's okay if you make the final call on that, but would love to get to share the
again. I think some of that I think some of this episode felt a little rushed in that regard too. So I think it's something that we can be aware of, we can work towards, and I think that we're all a little bit guilty of. So
absolutely, it's something. It's just something I just wanted to note a concern. So
all right, anybody got anything else?
No.
All right. On that note, let's go ahead and roll credits. Live long and prosper.